performance. As you heard earlier, the numbers are pretty much in line with expectations. So 25% growth in net profits, a revenue growth of around 12%, and that's the volume growth that Dabur has reported, 9% this time around versus 12% on a year-on-year basis. So it's a slowdown that we've seen between now and same quarter last year, but that's what analysts were expecting as well. The whole environment has slowed down quite a bit, so volume growth at 9%. But otherwise, it's banks that have been the key disappointment today, and apart from that, names like L&T continue to sulk. So that stock, after that disappointment that it reported in its numbers, has seen another day of a big slide today. So down about 4% for L&T, and a couple of other key names like M&M, etc., are also down and out. But let's we're talking about the numbers that you saw from Dabur. Lalit Malik of Dabur India joins us to talk about that. Hi Lalit, thanks for being with us on the show. Your margins this time around have come in slightly lower than what some analysts were expecting. That's perhaps because of your ad spends that have gone up about 11%. Can you give us any kind of ballpark figure on what the ad spends would look like going ahead, and what the impact would be on your margins as well?
Okay. So I think first of all, our ad spends have been consistent in line with our previous year, though in percentage they are slightly higher for this quarter. This is primarily on account of phasing issues, because we have launched some of the products this quarters, and as a result of it you see a little higher percentage of ad spends for this quarter. Having said that, I think for overall annual scenarios we should be within the annual range that we have indicated earlier.
Lalit, hi, afternoon. Just focusing on your volume growth this time round, it's coming at an average of what the street was working with at around 9%. Could you just break it up for us this quarter, where exactly the volume growth has emerged for Dabur this quarter in specific, and what is the guidance for the coming 3 quarters that we can expect?
Sure. So as far as our food business is concerned, that has grown in the India FMCG approximately 18.7%. On the home care, we have grown very healthy at 25%, and with regard to shampoo, we have grown at around 22% or so. The major impact of the downward has been because of the commodity, that's on the guar gum. As a result of it, our total volume increase has been within the range of 9% for the India FMCG. Going forward, we do maintain that we should be within the range of 8 to 12% for this year, depending upon the seasonality factor and also the economic environment.
Okay, so in this 8 to 10% growth, can you break it up into segment-wise performance for us? Where do you expect to see maximum growth emerge from in the next couple of quarters?
Well, I think we will have a steady growth in almost all the categories, though as I said, there are some seasonal impacts. So, for example, in glucose and all, that's more on the summer drink, wherein if you look at Chyawanprash, it would be more a winter kind of products for us. On the other hand, there are other categories of juices which overall have been showing very healthy trend. Home care products on Odomos and Odonil, I think continue to grow, and which we do expect between 8 to 12% of range that I indicated. We will have the category growth depending upon the demand that will come, and on the categories that we see based on the climatic environment.
Lalit, how did your international business do this quarter?
Well, international business is contributing around 32% for the overall turnover for us, and it has been growing very healthy for us, including our IBD, which is growing by more than 16 to 17%. So at an international level, the growth has been very positive, and we expect that the growth to continue. On the US level, the Namaste, we see a positive trend emerging, and there is a healthy growth on that. So we do expect international to grow over this remaining current year for financial year 13-14.
Okay, we've seen quite a bit of depreciation on the currency, Lalit. What impact will that have on your food business margins? Because you do have, the input costs going up. Can you just give us any kind of trajectory in terms of any pressure that you expect to see on your food business margins because of the rupee depreciation?
Right. So as far as food business is concerned, it is impacted on account of import and on account of CVD, which we do see some impact coming up over a period of time as the exchange will move around. But having said that, we do take our actions with regard to the hedging as well as with regard to the other benefit on exports, which has a natural hedge. So we see the impact getting mitigated to a greater extent. Having said that, there will be some impact depending upon the exchange fluctuation on the food business going forward.
Nani, just wanted to focus a little bit in terms of the mix for the domestic business that we can expect going forward. One, what would your guidance be going into FY14 just for the domestic business, and what would the growth be supplemented by? If you could give some sort of color in terms of the mix of the volume as well as the pricing growth that we can expect.
Well, I think if we look at in terms of the mixed categories, it will depend upon the different channels. Our rural is growing pretty fast and it's growing at a steady pace. Our institution sales is growing. Modern retail is also showing a healthy sign. So if we look at going forward, we do expect growth to come from the rural sector as well as from the institutional sales and also from the modern retail. Though our normal GT trade is continuing at a steady pace.
Okay, then just one last question from my end. You were telling us about your Namaste business. In FY13, you saw a decline in revenues, and it was not such a good year for you, for your Namaste business particularly. When do you think you could see a revival, and what could the growth, trend look like for Namaste? Will it get back to its high teens, or will it take some time?
Well, yes, you're right. Last year there have been some slowdown with regard to Namaste because of the restructuring of the workforce. Now we have put all the corrective measures in place, and we have our Dabur management also taking control of that. Plus our South Africa business is also strengthening. As a result of it, we do see growth coming back on Namaste. It would be at a gradual pace, and with regard to the double teen, I think at the early teen we do see even for this quarter the growth compared to last year, and we do expect Namaste to gradually grow from here.
Okay. Lalit, just before we let you go then, just a quick or rather more macro question, because we have been facing a lot of risks to coming into growth. We have CPI which is edging up over 9% now. In your opinion, has there been any sort of curtailment in discretionary expenditure that you've seen coming in for your products in particular, or within the FMCG space as per your experience?
Well, I think we do see some impact coming on the discretionary product at the higher category of our product categories. Having said that, I think overall product categories that we cater to are more the basic needs, including the food as well as including the home care and other categories. So we do expect at the top end of our product to have some discretionary spending being curtailed, but at the base level or at the larger scale, we do expect growth to be consistent, though we do not see a major jump coming from here for this financial year.
All right, Lalit. Thanks as always for joining us and giving us your view on the company and the outlook going ahead. So that's Dabur saying that a 9% volume growth is what they clocked in this quarter, and they hope to maintain the volume growth in that 8 to 12% level for FY14. The stock is holding up, and the stock actually has had a great session, many sessions now, so it's been one of the strong outperformers. But it's outperforming the markets today as well. 59.78 on the Nifty, so let's get Sudarshan Sukhani in to tell us about the technicals and how you're stacked up. Sudarshan, we're still languishing in the red. The day has not changed since the last time we spoke to you. But from here on, what would you do? Tomorrow is an important session. We have expiry. Volumes are really high.